What's up, everybody? This is Gabby, Staten Island, and I'm driving, so I might not be looking at my phone too much, but just still wanted to record this. First thing I want to do is tell you all to check out the Future Cannabis Project, specifically the NotSoDog and Crybaby podcast. I've been glued to it every week, really enjoying it. Hope I get to be invited to the show sometime since I'm mentioned this significant amount. And I'm doing this little response to one of the things that NotSoDog said. In his last podcast, one of the things he said is that I hated sativa.
For instance, okay, I'll use this 20 years ago, 25 years ago, when Gabby and I were hanging out all the time and we were neighbors basically. He hated sativas of any kind, right? Because anything that made him behavior. Well, I just mean anything that, like, he loved things that calmed him down. He loved heavy things, right? That relaxed him. Anything that made him up, he was anti. I'm pretty relaxed dude, so I liked feeling up. I liked some of those things, right? Like, he would smoke a haze and want to crawl out of his skin. It didn't give him the kind of buzz that he was after, so he didn't like it. Now, does that mean that he's wrong? No, because...
Well, first of all, I'll say I think hated is a very strong word. I don't know how far I would go to say that I hated sativa. I'd more say I strongly preferred indica. And the reasons why, Francis somewhat alluded to it. He said, I didn't want things that were going to bring me up, that I wanted things that were going to bring me down. Now that sounds like I'm borderline like a narcotic user that, really wanted something that was going to knock me down. I think it's more a factor of I am, and even more back then, was a very high-strung personality. So same reason why I don't drink coffee. I didn't really prefer sativa. The other thing I'd say is that I just, like, my definition of high, like when I would smoke a sativa, it never did for me what other people said it did for them. I could smoke 3 joints of some, nice haze, and afterwards I still want to smoke more, which, that isn't the end of the world. But, if I would smoke a joint of, some serious indica, at least I'd be satisfied momentarily. I think that's the way I would describe it, not that I hated sativa. Now, when Francis and I were doing this, I was, much younger than I am now, and, my body has changed, my body chemistry has changed, and now, I've also learned to appreciate sativas that much more. They're also significantly scarcer today than they were back then. Back then, we could actually get some sativa or sativa-dominant hybrids, which today it's, you're pretty lucky if you can get something like that. I really am all about the terp profile, and I'm sure that a lot of you guys can relate to that. As far as the terp profile is concerned, I love diversity. Oftentimes people say to me, oh, I don't like jack terps, or I don't like citrus terps, or even, I don't like candy, I only like OG and sours. And for me, something that's beautiful in cannabis is all the diversity in terpenes. So in, an ideal world for me, I would have as many different types of cannabis with different terpene profiles to smoke. It's also kind of like in a good meal, everything doesn't taste the same, right? Like your appetizer won't taste exactly the same as your entree as with your dessert. So yeah, it's nice to have different flavors in your food as well as in with cannabis. With my age, I've learned to enjoy more sativa leaning strains. Once again, highly suggest you guys check out the Future Cannabis Project and the NotSoDog and Crybaby podcast. They've been doing a great job, and hope to hear from you guys soon.